episode of Miss Soccer. I remain Ellie, the only Nottingham Forest fan in Ghana, and mind my saying, now a Premier League team. And with me today, I have.
Hi, Herman here, as usual. A Tottenham Hotspur fan who is quite happy with what's going on with my team in the transfer window. And I'm here to, pick up some tidbits about the Netherlands and speak about other teams.
Great. And we also have someone new on the show today. Please introduce yourself.
Bright here, Barcelona fan. I came through Herman, and then we're coming to talk about Dutch football and the World Cup coming up in November, hopefully.
Exactly. That's what we are going to talk about. You know, the Dutch have given us a lot. I was reading on Netherlands. They've given us Wi-Fi, stock market, telescope, Dutch carriage. But if you know what Dutch carriage is, it's actually just drinking. And
don't leave out the tulips, eh?
yeah,
you know the Dutch tulips, yeah. So
yeah, that's so true. That escaped my mind. And you know other thing they've taught us? They taught us how to get to the final the most times and always lose. So fortunately, I'm not in Netherlands right now, so nobody's going to come down my door. So exactly, just like Bright said, we're going to talk about the Netherlands. They've reached the final a few times, but let's start on their journey. Their group was strong enough. Interestingly enough, they kicked Turkey out of the group stage for the qualification by just a mere 2 points. And maybe let's start off with the newest person to join us, Bright. If you come with some new energy, new dynamics, knowing what you know so far of this current Netherlands squad, what do you think of their journey so far, just to even reach Qatar? What do you think of it?
They've done incredibly well, considering how they started the World Cup qualifications. You know, they lost their first game, and the journey was not that smooth. But after the first defeat, they picked themselves up and then got some few wins. It was actually a run and got the qualification. Netherlands didn't have a good Euros. They were eliminated at the round of 16. So the expectation was not that high. It was more like 50-50 whether they'll make it to the World Cup or not, because they didn't make it in the previous edition.
Yeah, but I want to change that what you said around and push it to Herman. You know, whenever the Netherlands fail to qualify for a major competition, in the next one they qualify for, they come out strong. Don't you think this is going to be an advantage? I'm thinking to the past tournaments, and I realize that's sort of a trend. Herman, what do you think of that?
well, we know the Dutch. We know them to be what we call the total football disciples. I just believe, like you said, I seem to move towards that point where you just made that they miss out on the previous tournament and they come stronger. I think same with this tournament, they will come quite stronger because the balance of the squad they have and the experience of their coach, I think, makes them one of the top picks. You know, from defense, I think they have, De Ligt and Van Dijk, and then you go into attack, they have Memphis, and I mean, they've been beating a lot of teams with huge margins. So I mean, I think they'll prove to be a very strong team and a competitive team as such.
Yeah, that's true. You mentioned their coach, Van Gaal. You know, he's called the Iron Tulip, and he did lead them to a third place at the 2014 World Cup. Herman, tell us one or two things you like about Van Gaal with this Netherlands team.
Well, what I love about him is what everyone knows. He doesn't mince his words. We know what he tells you is what he'll just go with, and we've just seen that with what he stole Timber. I think their centre back who Man U was trying to purchase or transfer. He told him that if he goes there and he doesn't get playing time, he's not going to the World Cup. We know that he's a very straight coach. He sticks to his principles. And I mean, for me, I started following Van Gaal, way back. But I think one point I've really liked him, or a stint he had at Bayern Munich, where he took them to the final against, I think, Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan, that he lost by 2-0. That was the time he stuck to his principles. He stuck to his selection. Any team he goes to, he makes it work by bringing out an unknown player and makes the player a big one. Bayern, he brought out Muller. Man U, he made Fellaini shine. I mean, you look through, he made Fellaini, he made Rashford, all of them come out. So he's a coach who encourages the youth, but he sticks to his principles.
Don't you think he sticks to his principles too much, Bright? At your own club, Barcelona, he tried pushing Rivaldo to play as a winger, and that frustrated Rivaldo so much. And we know of in recent times, he tried changing philosophy at other clubs like Man United and the rest. Don't you think he's too strict and he won't allow the players to have their own expression at this World Cup?
I think the strict nature will go a long way to help so far as the national team is concerned. Club football is different from the national side, and for national teams, you need some kind of discipline to still instill some kind of discipline into your squad to be able to work. And I think Louis van Gaal has that. For looking at the 2014 World Cup, lots of the porters wrote Netherlands off. Even in their first game when they met Spain, you could see the first half, Spain, they were all over the place until that Robin van Persie goal. So I see Netherlands making a good name for themselves as well as the Mundial is concerned.
Yeah, I think I'm obliged to align with you because he's one of the most decorated managers in world football. He alone has won 12 major honors. I think that's really enviable. And yeah, I think he could take Netherlands somewhere. Could really take them somewhere. Yeah.
Ellie, not just the trophies for me. I keep on saying, I'll reiterate the point that I believe that when he goes to any club, he instills his philosophy. I mean, I want to point out when he started playing Daley Blind as centre back because he felt he was a good progressor of the ball. So when you look at Van Gaal, you see that he makes it work. He does his changes, he makes it work, and I mean, you should expect a lot from Netherlands. So yeah.
Okay. I think we'll go on then to the team itself. They are 10th in the FIFA World Ranking. Generally, we know of their history that they are the greatest team never to have won the World Cup. But Bright, tell us your overall perception of this current Netherlands squad with the personnel in there. What do you think of the squad?
For me, I think their strength is in their defense, with the likes of Matthias de Ligt, Nathan Ake, Van Dijk. Gives the coach lots of dynamics. He can go with the back three. Louis van Gaal likes to play with the back three, and he can go with the back four. And I heard in a recent interview, Van Dijk granted, saying he feels comfortable with the back four than the back three. So I don't know if LVG will be changing his system to favor Van Dijk, because the defense of the Netherlands is their strongest department. And in tournaments like this, we don't expect the Netherlands to be eliminated at the group stage. And we know what Netherlands brings to the table so far as extra time and penalty shootouts are concerned. And when Netherlands get to knockout stages, they need to shut teams down in terms of the defense department. If they are able to do that, that's their primary aim. If they are able to do that, at least they have 1 foot to progress into the next round. So I think their defense is their strongest department. And then their group, which has Senegal, Ecuador, and then Qatar. Senegal will prove to be very, very tough because they'll be playing Senegal first. But with LVG, I think Louis van Gaal should be able to beat Senegal and then top that group. And when I look through the whole World Cup draw, if they are able to top that group, at least they should be able to make the quarters.
Okay, so you said they are strong, but who is going to score for them? The only one they really have is Depay. Or Herman, you can weigh in on this. Who really?
I think for me, I mean, like you're saying, it's a roundtable conversation. You just mentioned Depay, but I think they have not even Steven Bergwijn of my team. But for me, I know Van Gaal will stick with the back three. Even if he goes to the back four, he'll still play Dumfries. And that's where the goals will come from. Dumfries. He's my pick for the tournament. You know, they have a mix of everything. They have composure in De Jong, who is very composed. Depay, who starts to shine when you don't expect him to shine. Bergwijn, or Stevie Bergwijn, who is very good. And he's, again, very underrated. But for me, their pick of the tournament will be Dumfries. You know, he plays for Inter Milan. I just feel like on the right wing, he'll cause a lot of trouble for them. But they have a mix of everything from, their goalkeeper, who is, I think, Stekelenburg, or their centre-backs, who can also chip in when they need goals. So it's a balanced team. And I think who else better to lead them down Van Gaal?
Well said. He'll provide solidity to the whole structure of the team, and we'll be watching this space to see if they can also get goals. And for the teams they are going to play against, similar to what Bright said, I don't think any of these teams will really cause them an upset. And for me, I think, yes, they can qualify out of this group. But what do both of you think? Do you think any team is really going to cause an upset to Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, Qatar? Let's go with you first, Brian.
I think if Senegal are able to hold them in the first half, they should be able to at least nick a draw. And you never know. These South American teams like Ecuador like this, Europeans find it difficult beating the lower tier South American teams. Then apart from the Chilis, the Uruguayans and stuff, maybe Ecuador can prove so. And with this Netherlands team, their goalkeeping department isn't that strong. Selection had COVID and missed out on the Euros, and he has been on and off. Louis van Gaal has been rotating that role a lot. So that's another department they need to look at. I've also looked into their squad and then seen the likes of Danjuma. He had a good season with Villarreal. Louis van Gaal can use him as that surprise or super sub in big games and could help the Netherlands in the tournament. But I think at least in that group, they should be able to qualify at least first, second. They've placed first 5 times in the World Cup, placed second twice, 2006 and 1978, and then have been eliminated at the group stage a couple of times.
Okay.
So let's see. Yeah.
However, I think for the opponents the Netherlands are facing, Van Gaal said himself after the World Cup draw that, I quote, "These are opponents we know nothing about. At least I don't, and I assume our analysts don't either. So they have a lot of work to do in the coming period." Van Gaal has also criticized Qatar for this human rights thing. So don't you think, Herman, that maybe Qatar might want to show off against the Netherlands some way, somehow? Do you think if that's even possible?
Ali, I think when we previewed Qatar in the past week, I mentioned that sometimes you want to prove something, but your strength is not enough. if it's Qatar, I don't really think Qatar can really. I mean, you try, but I don't think Qatar can prove anything.
You
If
think
it's
this?
to ginger them. Mhm.
Okay. You think there's
Yeah, you were
something
saying.
like the body is willing, but the no
Yeah,
the
so
the
can.
spirit is willing, but the body is
Yeah.
weak. Something of
Well,
that
yeah,
kind.
yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
I just feel if they are to worry about any team, it will be the African champions, which is Senegal or the Ecuadorians. You know, the South Americans, they are like pit bulls. They run all over the pitch and they just try to cause a lot of havoc. And like Bryce mentioned, the European teams don't do well against them. For the African champions, on their good day, you know they are a very good team with a lot of talented players. They just need to get more out of their squad and they'll be fine. So I'm also seeing them. I think for 3 points, they have it on the board against Qatar. I mean, Qatar, I've told you already. I'll be shocked if Qatar even got more than 3 points. But I think Netherlands has that already. So maybe they have to now slug it out between Ecuador and Senegal to get some 5 points or 7 points. So
I believe so. I think they have enough to really come out of this group. And then finally, we are at the part of the show where we have to put our neck on the line. Not literally, of course, but figuratively.
yeah.
Where do you think Netherlands is going to place finally at the end of this World Cup? Maybe we can start first with you, Bright. Looking at their strengths, looking at the competition that they have to fare against, looking at Van Gaal, his experience, looking at the fact that they have persons like Van Dijk, maybe, and other team members. Where do you think in the end they'll place and why?
I think they'll finish last eight, the quarterfinals.
Okay.
They, even though their strongest department is the defense, you can see their captain VVD Van Dijk. This is his first World Cup, and he's barely had any international tournament. I don't think he's not played any Euros. So this is his first international tournament with the Netherlands. Same with Matthias de Ligt. De Ligt played in the Euros, but he's never played in the World Cup before. So yeah, they lack a bit of inexperience, and they've not played as a team for quite long. Louis van Gaal left and came back, and looking at the groupings, the groupings and the teams they'll be meeting, they'll be likely to meet. I think their best will be the quarterfinals. And if they are able to make the quarterfinals, it means Louis van Gaal has done a human's job for me.
Wow, and even if quarterfinals, then Van Gaal has done well. All right,
Yeah.
Herman, do you think the same of Louis van Gaal, LVG? Do you think they would also get to the quarterfinals, or you think differently?
I want to punch above their weight a bit and say semi-final because I feel they have something different in their team. Though you realize when you watch their games, the inexperience comes out, I think, getting to the end of their games. But I want to punch a bit above their weight and say semi-final. When I say what they have different, I feel they have a target man in Weghorst, my Burnley striker.
But isn't he now in the championship?
He is. That's why you have to be scared of them. The championship players, you see, like your Nottinghams and the others, they don't give up easily. Do you understand? So I think Weghorst feasting off some crosses from Dumfries and Gakpo and the others, they have the surprise factor there. Though you go with Depay or Luke de Jong or Danjuma and the rest, like or Berwin, right? But you see, looking at their squad, they have De Roon, they have Wijnaldum, they have Classic. You see, it's a balanced squad there. Very inexperienced. They tend to slip off at the end of the games. I want to give them semi-final. Though when I think about the other teams, then my head is aching me, but I want to give them semi-final.
Okay. I would be pragmatic, and I think they'll get to the round of 16 because a lack of goals will show because you can't just depend on a few players. And even like with this recent thing of Man United, the player may be interested in going outside to Man United. They shouldn't just restrict themselves to competitive competition in the Eredivisie this year. And in fact, if we look at their whole journey, they qualified just 2 points ahead of Turkey that got very soundly beaten in the Euros played just last year. Hence, with these factors, I'm just thinking that when the players might want to express themselves and Louis van Gaal tries to restrict them in his own system, things might not order well. And yes, they will go out of the group, but I think with the very first quality team that they face, they should, and they will get knocked out with at least 2 goals or more in the round of 16. At least that's where, for now, I lean more towards two. And
Let's see how it goes.
all too soon, we've come to the end of the show, and I'll love Herman first to give your closing remarks and thoughts on the Netherlands team, and before we hand it off to Bright. So Herman, please go first.
I believe that, from the insights we've gained from the Netherlands team, I believe that it's a fairly inexperienced team, but it's a talented one. Like, we just placed our heads on the block. For me, I just hope they're able to get to the semi-final and prove me right, at least. But it's a fairly inexperienced team, and they have a strict coach who will stick to his principles. It's a two-way street. Either it goes well or it goes bad. If it goes well, obviously we all jump to him and we say he's a genius. I want to stick with that one and say he'll be a genius. So from the insight you gain, I know we should expect total football, and the Orange will come to the show.
And Bright, what of your last thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to give some look into the round of 16 prediction. Group B has England, Iran, United States, and Wales. And from a layman point of view, England might place first. Maybe United States or Wales will place second. I don't think Netherlands will be able to beat United States, or United States will be able to beat Netherlands. Neither will Wales be able to do that. Maybe. I don't know. There are surprises though, but for me, I don't think so. That's why I give them the quarterfinal bet. But in all, I think they've been able to regroup after a bad Euros with a new coach too, and then basically this is their best squad. So I think I'm hoping for the best. Like, they'll do well. At least the quarterfinal stage should be okay for them. With the like I said, their defensive unit is not bad. Let's see what Louis van Gaal will do. And we've all seen how Netherlands fared in the World Cup. They've been doing very well. The 2014, they got to the semi-final, got knocked out by penalties. In the 2010 World Cup, it was just Ike Casillas. It was they were that close. They were that close, and that's been their story in the World Cup. So let's see. I wish them all the best. In the
You said it nicely. You said it very, very nicely. They have been that close. They are always the bridesmaid and never.
They are the near men.
They are the nearly men.
Yeah.
All right. This has been a wonderful show.
They've been the Atletico Madrid of the World Cup.
Well, yes. I think you could say
Relating that to the Champions League. Yeah.
exactly. They get to the Champions League and they never win it. All right. So thank you so much, Bright and Herman. And thank you to listeners. Keep listening to us on your podcast app. And we appreciate your feedback. And please share your comments.